To Couch Casual. Today, we are going to be going over our predictions for Week 13 of the 2024 NFL season. Before we get into our picks, looking back at last week, did not have the best week. Still went above 500, but we went 7-6, brings our total record up to 120-59. But now let's get into the actual picks. First game is the Bears-Lions Thanksgiving game. The 10-1 Lions take on the 4-7 Bears as 10-point favorites. And I kind of agree with that. I do think the Lions will end up winning this one. I do think it will be maybe closer because the Bears do have a very good defense. And the Lions have, historically struggled on Thanksgiving. I do think that streak of losing on Thanksgiving does come to a close, as I think the Lions just have too much talent for the Bears to overcome, and I have the Lions winning 27-20 over the Bears. For our second Thanksgiving game, we have the 4-7 Cowboys taking on the 2-9 Giants. Cowboys are 4-point favorites, with Cooper Rush taking on Tommy DeVito. Now, based on the first game we saw Cooper Rush and the first game we saw Tommy DeVito, you would think that these teams wouldn't even score 2 touchdowns. But the Cowboys did not look that bad versus the Commanders, and I think the Giants will be able to run the ball on the Cowboys and maybe make it a little bit exciting, maybe actually score some points. So I have the Cowboys winning 21-20 over the Giants. But I do still think the Cowboys will win, as again, I think Cooper Rush is just a little bit better than Tommy DeVito, and I think the Cowboys overall just have slightly more talent than the Giants do. Next is the 5-6 Dolphins taking on the 8-3 Packers. Packers are 3.5-point favorites. I think this could be the best game. I know I had a 1-point game in the other one, but I think this could be the best game of the Thanksgiving Day slate. Both pretty good defenses. Packers offense has been much better, but again, the Dolphins offense has, their averages in the season have been tainted because they didn't have Tua, and Tua in this offense has been a lot better. They just destroyed the Patriots last week. So I do think the Dolphins will be able to score, and I actually think they will be able to win this game, and I have the Dolphins winning 27-24 over the Packers. I think it will come close, and I think it will come down to which offense can score the more points, and I'm feeling the Dolphins in this one. Next is the Friday night game, the Black Friday game between the 2-9 Raiders and the 10-1 Chiefs. Chiefs are 13-point favorites in this one. Coming off of their close win versus the Panthers. Now the Chiefs haven't had any blowouts this year, but I think that ends now. The Raiders are just not good. I know they beat the Chiefs on Christmas or whatever it was last year, but the Raiders just aren't a good football team. Chiefs are. They get Pacheco back as well. And I think they win this convincingly 30-20 over the Raiders, and it's actually my lock of the week. Next game is the 7-4 Chargers taking on the 6-5 Falcons. Very close. Chargers are only 1-point favorites in this one. A game of very different teams. Falcons have a very good offense, very subpar defense, and the Chargers have a great defense and about an average offense. Excuse me. So, I think this could be a very good game. I know the Chargers coming off of that very tough loss to the Ravens, where they didn't look great. They made it close at the end, and then the Falcons are coming off of their bye week. But I just have a feeling that the Chargers defense isn't going to let what happened last week happen to them again. And I think they can contain Kirk Cousins enough for their offense to score the points necessary. And I have the Chargers winning 24-20 over the Falcons. Now we have the 8-3 Steelers taking on the 4-7 Bengals. Bengals are 3-point favorites in this one. That caught me by surprise. I know the Bengals have had a great offense, and their defense just hasn't done enough. And the Steelers lost to the Browns, but the Steelers are just such a good team. And I think their defense can contain Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase just like the Chargers, I think he can contain it enough for their offense to score the points necessary because Russell Wilson's been playing great and the Bengals have no defense whatsoever. And I'm going Steelers winning 28-24 over the Bengals. Another division game here. We have the 7-5 Texans taking on the 2-9 Jaguars. Texans are only 4-point favorites as they're coming off of that loss to the Titans, while the Jags are coming off of their bye week. The last time these teams played, the Texans won a narrow game 24-20. And I do think it will be close again, as these AFC South teams tend to play close games, it feels like, for the most part. Texans offense has been, up and down, but they play a bad Jags defense. And the Texans defense, on the other hand, has been pretty good. So I do think the Texans have just enough to get the win, but again, these teams always seem to play close games. So I have the Texans winning 23-21 over the Jaguars. Oh, next game is the Cardinals over the Vikings. I accidentally revealed the score here. I have the Cardinals winning 24-21 over the Vikings. Cardinals are actually 3.5-point underdogs in this one. But I went with the Cardinals because their defense has been sneakily pretty good this year. And we've seen when the Vikings play a good defense, the game is close. Sam Darnold struggles a little bit. I think that could happen today, but unlike the Bears, I think the Cardinals have the offense on the other side of the ball to get them over the hump and actually win the game. So I'm going Cardinals 24-21 over the Vikings. Now we have the 5-7 Colts taking on the 3-9 Patriots. Colts are 2.5-point favorites. That surprised me. I feel like they should be favored by more in this one. The Patriots aren't a very good football team. The one strength the Patriots have is their run defense is not bad, but the Colts have a very good rushing attack with Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson. And the Patriots offense, which has been terrible, is going up against a relatively okay Colts defense. Colts didn't look terrible against the Lions. They only lost by 18, which is pretty impressive when you're playing the Lions. So I do think the Colts win this one. Low-scoring game, 23-17 over the Patriots. Next game is the 6-5 Seahawks taking on the 3-8 Jets. The Seahawks are 2-point favorites in this one. Another one that seems like it maybe should be higher. The Jets have just not played good football, really. Their defense, which we thought is elite, has been just good. But the Seahawks offense at times looks very good. And then on the other side of the ball, the Seahawks defense has been up and down, and the Jets offense has been terrible. Seahawks are fighting for that NFC West, that crowded NFC West. So I do think that they want to win this game, especially against a 3-win team like the Jets. And I do think they get that done. I think they win 21-17 over the Jets. Titans-Commanders. This is an interesting matchup. Commanders are 7-5, Titans 3-8. Coming off of that big upset over the Texans, while the Commanders are coming off of a tough loss to the Cowboys. Commanders 5.5-point favorites in this game. I do think the Commanders get back on track because the Titans, their defense, they give up a lot of points, but they don't give up a lot of yards, especially in the pass game. However, the Commanders like to run the ball with Jaden Daniels, Brian Robinson, Austin Eckler. I don't know who's going to be healthy or not. I think both those running backs are questionable in this game. And the Commanders' weakness has been their defense, but the Titans don't have a great offense either. I think the Titans used up all their energy to win that game versus the Texans, and I think the Commanders are looking to bounce back. So I got the Commanders winning 28-20 over Titans. Now we have the 5-6 Bucks taking on the 3-8 Panthers. Bucks are 6-point favorites off of that very good, impressive win versus the Giants, while the Panthers narrowly beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, but you can't be mad because Bryce Young played pretty good. And I think that's all Panther fans want, is just to see Bryce Young play good. I don't think they care about wins or losses, especially with how bad that defense is. And speaking of that bad defense, I think it's going to let them down once again, just like it did against the Chiefs. I think their offense can play well. I think their offense can show flashes, especially against a subpar, below average Bucks defense. But again, I don't think their defense will limit the Bucks enough, and I have the Bucks winning 30-24 over the Panthers. Rams Saints. Rams are 5-6. Saints are 4-7. Rams are 2.5-point favorites. This could be a good game. I don't really know how to go in this game. Both of these teams have been very inconsistent. 1 minute, Matthew Stafford is throwing the ball all over the place, and their defense is playing well, and then another minute, it's not the case. And then the Saints, they've been one of the more up and down teams all year. But they've looked good since firing Dennis Allen and bringing Darren Rizzi as their interim. And this was a 50-50 to me. And I actually went the Rams' way, 28-27 over the Saints. I just don't know if the Saints' defense will be enough to stop the Rams. Because I think the way the Rams win games is if they have a good day on offense. And I think they will be able to do that against the Saints. And I think it'll just be just enough to beat the Saints. Now we have probably the game of the week. We have the 9-2 Eagles taking on the 8-4 Ravens. Ravens are 3-point favorites in this game. Battle of the best running backs in football, Saquon versus Derrick Henry. And I think this can come down to who can stop the opposing team's running back more. And what quarterback, Hurts or Lamar, can have the best day passing. Because these are two great run defenses. The Ravens are second in yards allowed to running backs, and the Eagles are seventh. So both good run defenses. Pass defenses, the Eagles actually have a great pass defense with Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean and all those guys, where the Ravens do not. But honestly, I'm feeling the Ravens mainly because Lamar doesn't lose to the NFC. Give me Ravens 30-28 over the Eagles. Now we have our Sunday night game, which normally would be a very good game, but the Niners are just banged up. 9-2 Bills taking on the 5-6 Niners. Bills are 7-point favorites. We don't know if Brock Purdy's going to play. If Brock Purdy does play, I think it can be a good close game. But I'm going to make the picks that I still think the Bills could beat the Niners if Brock Purdy doesn't play. Or if Brock Purdy does play. And if he doesn't play, I don't think this game will be close. I'm going to go with if he doesn't play. I think the Bills offense, I think the Bills defense will be too much for the Niners to keep up with the Bills offense. And I have the Bills winning 31-21 over the Niners. Last game, the Monday night game between the 3-8 Browns and the 7-5 Broncos. Broncos are 5.5-point favorites. This game could be snowy because it's in Denver, Colorado, and snow game Jameis Winston is a great quarterback. Both great defenses. The Browns defense won't show up necessarily throughout the season based on how they rank amongst the league. But if you watch that game versus the Steelers, that defense was great. And I think they can stop Bo Nix enough to make this a close game. It's all about, in my opinion, can their offense do enough to beat the Broncos and that great defense. I don't know if this is me just wanting to see Jameis Winston succeed, but my upset of the week is the Browns over the Broncos 20-17 on Monday Night Football. That will do it for our predictions for Week 13 of the 2024 NFL season. Let me know in the comment section what you agreed with, what you disagreed with, and some of your picks. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, and also make sure you subscribe as well. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.